Hello everyone, kumusta po kayo? I hope that you are all doing good. Kung kayo po ang tatanungin, napapanahon na ba na baguhin ang ating Constitution? At kung may kailangang baguhin sa 1987 Constitution, ano ba sa tingin ninyo ang dapat baguhin? I would suppose that everyone is aware of what is happening around us. Kamakailan lang po ay ipinasa ng mga mambabatas natin sa House of Representatives ang isang resolution calling for a constitutional convention. Ito po ay isa sa mga pamamaraan upang maamyendahan o mairebisa ang ating saligang batas. Ang tanong is, alam ba natin kung ano itong constitutional convention? Marami na rin po kasi naging attempts in the past upang baguhin po ang ating constitution. As a matter of fact, sinubukan na po ito noong panahon pa ng Ramos administration through the People's Initiative. Subalit hindi po ito nagtagumpay dahil ibinasura ito ng Supreme Court dahil sa kawalan ng batas na mag-i-implement ng People's Initiative to amend the Constitution. Hindi daw po kasi sapat ang Republic Act 6735 upang maging basihan sa pag-amyenda ng saligang batas through the People's Initiative. At marami din po kasi ang ayaw dito dahil ang layunin po ng movement na to amend the Constitution was to remove the term limits ng mga government officials at that time. Kaya naging self-serving ito para sa kanila. The efforts under the Estrada administration was also not successful. As we all know, former President Estrada was not able to finish his term. Nagkaroon po tayo ng EDSA 2. Maging sa ilalim ng Arroyo administration ay sinubukan pong muli ang People's Initiative. But it also failed dahil ibinasura din po ng Korte Suprema ang petisyon ng isang grupo dahil sa maraming paglabag nito sa mga requirements na nakasaad po sa ating saligang batas. Isa na po dito yung pagiging highly questionable ng manner by which the signatures were gathered. And I already expected that under the administration of the former president, the late Noynoy Aquino, no one would tinker on the Constitution. Remember that the 1987 Constitution came after the EDSA Revolution, or to be more accurate, after the Freedom Constitution, and it would be an insult to his late mother, the former President Gloria Aquino, if the charter would be changed under the watch of her own son. For his part, former President Duterte ran his campaign along with his advocacy for a federal form of government, but as we all know, for one reason or another, the desired change in the Constitution never happened under his administration. Although there were attempts to push for a Constituent Assembly and eventually for a Constitutional Convention. And now, the move to change the Constitution is gaining momentum again. President Bongbong Marcos has been reported saying na hindi niya raw priority ang charter change sa ngayon. But look, the lower house has just initiated the process by passing the resolution of both houses number 6. But what is a Constitutional Convention? Sumikat na po in the past ang People's Initiative at ang Constituent Assembly o CONAS. At dahil sa naging karanasan o experience sa dalawang modes na ito na hindi naging successful, our political leaders are now eyeing to make use of the Constitutional Convention as a mode of amending our Constitution. As you may recall, may tatlong paraan po upang baguhin ang ating Constitution. Kapag sinabi ko pong baguhin, dalawa po ang ibig sabihin. Pwede itong magiging revision o amendment. Magkaiba po ang revision ng Constitution at ang amendment ng Constitution. Kapag sinabi po nating revision, ito po ay substantial change that affects the entire Constitution. Halimbawa po nito ay ang pagbabago ng political structure katulad ng pagpapalit ng form of government, for example, from a unitary form of government to a federal form of government. Sa amendment naman po, tumutukoy lamang ito sa mga maliliit na pagbabago sa Constitution. Halimbawa ay yung pag-reduce ng age qualification ng mga kandidato for elective government positions. It does not involve the overhauling of the Constitution. Now, sa revision po ng Constitution, magagawa lamang po ito sa pamamagitan ng Constitutional Convention o ng Constituent Assembly. Samantala, sa amendment po ng Constitution, maaari itong gawin sa pamamagitan ng Constitutional Convention, Constituent Assembly, o ng People's Initiative. Needless to say, pwede lamang po ang People's Initiative sa amendment. Hindi po ito pwedeng gamitin upang i-revise o i-revisa o i-overhaul ang Constitution. Napatunayan na po sa mga ilang administrations na nagdaan kung gaano po kahirap gawin ang isang People's Initiative to amend the Constitution. Just imagine the requirements set by Section 2 of Article 17 of the 1987 Constitution. Ilang beses na rin po na-challenge sa Korte Suprema ang mode na ito. Ayon po sa Supreme Court, dapat ang petition ay permado ng at least 12% of the registered voters sa buong Pilipinas. At dapat ang bawat legislative district ay represented ng at least 3% of the registered voters sa distrito na yon. O di naman kaya yung kabuoang proposed amendment ay dapat naka-attach doon sa signature sheet. Hindi sapat na signature sheet lang. In short, the people should know what they are petitioning for. Maliban po dito, gaya ng nasabi ko, ang People's Initiative ay pwede lamang po para sa amendment to the Constitution at hindi ito pwedeng gamitin for the revision of the Constitution. That is why the proponents of the constitutional change have turned their attention to the other modes of amending or revising the Constitution, the Constituent Assembly, and the Constitutional Convention. Ang challenge naman po sa Constituent Assembly o CONAS is the issue of trust. There has been an expression of distrust dahil ang bubuo po sa Constituent Assembly ay ang mga mambabatas natin, ang mga senators and members of the House of Representatives. The usual objection is that the incumbent lawmakers cannot be entrusted with the task of amending or revising the Constitution, which would affect their own interests. So there is an issue of conflict of interest. Nandoon po yung fear that these lawmakers will just push for their own personal and political agenda, among which is the lifting of their term limits at baka po makapagsingit sila ng provision doon sa Constitution which would allow them to perpetuate themselves in power. Also, if we are going to give this task to our lawmakers, baka mapabayaan po nila yung kanilang principal responsibility, which is to legislate or to make laws. And there is also a need to resolve first the issue kung dapat ba joint or separate ang botohan ng Senate at ng House of Representatives dahil alam po natin na may dalawang chambers po ang ating legislative department, which is the Senate and the House of Representatives, and they are working independently of each other. Pagdating po sa botohan, kung ito po ay joint voting, siguradong matatabunan po ang boto ng mga senators because we only have 24 senators. So what is left is the Constitutional Convention wherein we are going to elect a group of people who will participate in the Constitutional Convention in the drafting of our new Constitution. Hindi po sila yung mga incumbent lawmakers natin. So, magkakaroon po ng election ng members of the Constitutional Convention at ang proposal po ay isasabay ito sa barangay and sangguniang kabataan election upang makatipid. The members of the Constitutional Convention will be given a certain period of time to carry out and complete the task. Kapag mayroon na pong draft ng bagong constitution, it will be submitted to the COMELEC and will be presented to the people in a plebiscite. Dito po pagbubutuhan ng mga qualified Filipino voters kung aprobado ba sa kanila ang bagong constitution. So, what does it mean na sa ngayon ay naipasa na ng House of Representatives ang resolution calling for a constitutional convention? Well, this is just the beginning of a long process dahil kailangan pa ang pagsang-ayon dito ng Senado. The Senate has to come up with its own resolution on the matter. At kailangan din pong gumawa ng batas on how this is going to be implemented. In our next video, tatalakayin po natin kung ano-ano ba ang mga aasahan nating pagbabago sa ating Constitution kung sakaling matuloy ang Constitutional Convention na ito. Please feel free to share your thoughts and reactions in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please feel free to subscribe and do hit that notification bell icon so that you will get notified of our future videos. Always remember, ignorance of the law excuses no one from compliance therewith. I will see you in my next video. Ingat po kayo.